So the second topic in this lesson is proactive security. This topic tells us that Azure SQL Database provide auditing and threat detection to protectively and proactively protect our data from malicious attacks. So let's start with auditing. Auditing tracks and records database events to an audit log in a given Azure storage account. And auditing can help us to maintain any sort of regulatory compliance that we need, understand database activity, sort of what's going on our databases, and to catch discrepancies or anomalies that could indicate a security violation. Auditing allows you to define what database actions are to be audited. You can use it to find unusual activity or trends by using pre-configured reports and dashboards to understand and analyze the audit log. Auditing can be configured at the server level and database level. If auditing is configured at the server level, it'll automatically apply to all of the databases in the server. Auditing configured at the database level will only apply to a particular database. Now, it's recommended to audit the server instead of auditing individual databases, basically so you get a wider view of what's going on. In this demo, we will configure auditing for Azure SQL Server. Now, in order to set this up, we need to log into the Azure portal. And then from the left-hand navigation menu, we're going to select all our resources. And then we're going to open our Toy Store SQL Azure SQL Server, which is there. When we have our Toy Store SQL Server pane open, under the options here, there is an option called Audit and Threat Detection. Now you can see there we have got auditing. So I'm going to choose on auditing, and there you can see advanced threat detection. So I'm going to choose auditing to begin with. In the auditing pane, note that auditing is off by default, okay, and we can turn this on. When we turn it on, we need to specify a storage account to store the audit data. Now, in the audit logs pane, I'm going to choose the storage account that I created in the previous lesson. So I'm going to leave it as Toy Store Storage. But you can create a different account if you want to. As I'm going to hit there, I'm going to click Save, and it'll save the settings for me. Okay, operation is currently in progress. Save has been successful. So when I go back to my auditing page here, I can choose the storage section and I can choose my retention. Make it 2. We can create a new storage account if we want to. We can move the slider to specify the number of days. So I'm going to make it a week. And click on OK. So you can see there now we've got the auditing is on, and we're getting told where the auditing is being taken from. We're going to click on Save again there to enable auditing. Save successful. We can see how auditing is right into the storage. So I've gone up to all resources here. We can see I've got Toy Store Storage. I'm going to click on Toy Store Storage. I'm going to go into my blob container, and you can see we've got SQL audit logs. We can expand into that, and then for our SQL Server, we've got a list of our databases. And then we can go into our Toy Store database, and it'll show us the various audit logs. So you can view the logs in Azure portal. We can navigate to the database in question. We can click on auditing, and the option is there to view the audit logs once the database is loaded. Threat detection. Threat detection provides an extra layer of security on top of auditing by automatically detecting unusual activity and potential harmful attempts to access or exploit a database. For example, it can detect and alert you about SQL injection attacks. Users can set up email alerts so they are notified by email whenever any such activity is detected. Unlike auditing, threat detection is a paid-for service and is charged at $15 per node per month, and it's free for the first 60 days. So there's an extra cost to threat detection. In this final demo for this lesson, we will configure threat detection for Azure SQL Database. Now, in order to do this, we will use the Azure portal, and I will click on all resources on the left-hand side, and I will find my Toy Store SQL Azure SQL Database. Now, when this is opened up, I'm going to scroll down to the security pane. We configured auditing just. Now I'm going to click on Advanced Threat Protection, and I'm going to turn it on. Then I need to specify what I want to send alerts to, so I'm going to send them to gethin@gethinellis.com. Okay, and then I will need to choose my storage details. So I'm going to use the same storage as before. Let's see if I can use my Toy Store storage account, and I'm going to keep these for a week as well. Click on OK. Then I'm going to choose the types of threats. I've got all SQL injection vulnerability, and anonymous client login. I'm going to click on OK, and I will then get alerts once I've saved this should any of those threats arise.